I will post the message one more time. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, dear. Beta, keep your videos turned on. Jitendra, Sampath, and Rohit, keep your videos turned on. So, children, we will start with the discussion of the questions which I gave in the last class as homework. Okay, so I had given some NCERT questions as homework. So we will look at the NCERT and then we are going to go ahead and discuss the questions. Everyone, first of all, keep your videos turned on. Only then I will start with the class. Keep your videos turned on. Only then we will begin with the class. Before that, I am not going to begin. Everybody else also keep your video turned on. Sampath, Rohit, everyone else, please keep your video turned on. Sampath, Rohit, Pranav, keep your video turned on. So in the last class, I'll be talking to only Jitendra and Pranav in the class. Rest, according to me, you are not there in the class. Because your videos are turned off, so this means you're not there in the class. So in the last class, I gave you some questions for the homework. This was the first question which I gave. Convert the following temperatures to Celsius scale and convert the following temperatures to Kelvin scale. First one was 293 Kelvin. So how do we do this question? How do we convert 293 Kelvin to degrees Celsius?
Ma'am, we can add it to
We can. What can we do?
Ma'am, we can add it to 273.
We will add 273.
Yes, ma'am.
Or we will subtract 273 to convert Kelvin into Celsius.
Ma'am, we will subtract.
We are going to subtract 273 out of 293 to get the answer for the conversion of Kelvin to Celsius scale. So if we subtract 293 Kelvin, 273 Kelvin from 293 Kelvin, then what is going to be the answer? 20 degrees Celsius. Then what about 470 degrees Celsius, 473 Kelvin? What about 473?
200 degree.
It will be
200 degrees Celsius.
470 minus 273. How come it can be 200 degrees Celsius? So
197 degrees Celsius.
293 Kelvin minus 273. This gives us 20 degrees Celsius. That's first answer is correct. 470 Kelvin minus 273. What will be the answer?
Ma'am, it is 197 degrees Celsius.
197, ma'am.
7 degrees Celsius. Okay, Pranav, now you have to tell me the second answer. Convert the following into Kelvin scale. So 25 degrees Celsius would be. Pranav, as soon as I take your name, why do you turn off your video? Yes. Sampath, can you tell me the answer?
Ma'am, it is 298 and 298.15 degrees 298.15 Kelvin.
So approximately it comes out to be 298 Kelvin.
298 Kelvin.
Rohit, the next part you have to tell me. 373 degrees Celsius. Convert them into Kelvin. What are you going to do if you have to convert 25 degrees Celsius into
Ma'am, we have to do 373 plus 273. Ma'am, it will be 646.
And then I
The
gave
cal-
questions. That was the question number 6. First question was give 2 reasons. How can you say water is at room temperature is a liquid? Yukta, are you there in the class? Yukta,
Yes, ma'am.
you tell me the answer.
Just a minute.
Basically, you have to tell any 2 properties of liquid. So what could be the property of the liquid?
Ma'am, it doesn't have a fixed shape, like definite shape.
Right? Shape.
And liquids have the intermolecular space between the molecules is more than solids and liquids.
Very good. Intermolecular or interparticle spaces in water, because they're specifically asking about water, is more than solids and less than gases. There could be any other property also which you can add to this point of liquids. It could be any. And then there was this question, why iron almira at room temperature? Pranav, now you have to answer. And do not turn off your video. Iron almira at room temperature is a solid. Means you have to tell any 2 properties by which you can say of solid, you can say. Any 2 property of solid. Think how the solids look. Do they have fixed shape or not? They have fixed shape or not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You can say that iron almira has fixed shape, first thing. Jitendra, one more point you tell me, apart from shape.
Molecules attract each other.
So you can say in iron almira, there is strong force of attraction. Is this the right way to answer? Right? There is very strong force of attraction. Clear, children? These were the questions which I gave as homework. Who all did not do the homework?
Ma'am, what about definite volume?
Yes, you can write any 2 points of solid. Means any 2 properties of solid.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. Is there any child who hasn't done the homework? Everyone has done. Then also people did not knew the answers. Children, now we are moving to the next topic. Now I hope you are all aware about what are solids, what are liquids, and what are gases. solids, liquids, and gases, right? Now we have to think of the possible ways by which we can convert one state of matter to another state of matter. So our next topic is conversion of states of matter. Means conversion of one state of matter into another. So children, first and foremost thing, I'll just draw a small flow chart in which I will mention all the processes which are related to the conversion of solid to liquid, liquid to gas, gas to solid, and all of them. Fine. Before that, I will tell you two important things, that this conversion of state of matter is possible by two ways. By changing temperature. So we can do so by changing temperature or by changing pressure. Fine. So we are going to discuss both of them one by one. So first, by changing temperature, or we may say effect of change of temperature on the state of matter. Effect of change of temperature on state of matter. In this, I'm going to draw the flow chart, which is very, very important. Effect of change of temperature on the state of matter. So children, we are already aware about three states of matter: solid, liquid. I'm just representing by their small symbols, and gas. So first understand the points which are all there. Conversion of solid to liquid. It is known as melting or fusion. I'll give you the definition of all these terms also. Then the conversion of liquid to gas is known as, it is known by three names, but they have different meanings. So I'm writing all the three names, then I will give you the definition. Boiling, vaporization, or sometimes you must have heard about the conversion of liquid to gas as evaporation also. Clear children? Any doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just telling the names for now, then I will give you the definition also. Let us come to the next, the conversion of, reverse of this, conversion of gas to liquid. So when gas gets converted into the liquid state, it is known as condensation. Or we also call this as liquefaction. Then the next is the conversion of liquid to solid. This again has two names. The first name is solidification and the other name is freezing. Children, first of all, tell me if you have any doubts in any of these names which I have written, then I am going to tell you the other two terms which are related to these. Akshara, Yukta, keep your videos turned on, please. Then is the conversion of solid to gas directly. The conversion of solid to gas directly is known as sublimation, and the conversion of gas back to solid, it is known as deposition. First of all, tell me if these terms are clear to everyone, then I'm going to go ahead and write the definitions for all of them for you. Any doubts in any of the terms?
Ma'am, I have one doubt in deposition.
Yes.
Where does deposition occur? Actually, I
will
never.
along with the definitions. Okay. All the these terms, I'll give the definition right now. Just the terms are clear what is written, right? Let us start with the first term, which is melting or fusion. So it is the process. You may write it because today's homework would be to learn these definitions only. It is the process of conversion of solid to liquid on heating, specifically on heating. When we heat a solid, then it gets converted into the liquid state, and we call this process as melting or fusion. Both the terms are the same. These terms are known as melting and fusion, melting or fusion. Okay. Then let us come to the second term, which is vaporization. So the next term is vaporization, or we may also call it as boiling. So what is this process? It is the process. Oh, I forgot to mention the example. It's okay, I'll mention. Of conversion of liquid to gas. Again, how? On heating. Let me write the examples for all of them, the most basic and the most common examples, which you are already aware. Example is the conversion of ice to liquid water. Here the example is the conversion of liquid water to vapors. Children, an important point I would like to mention over here about the difference between what are gases or vapors, right? Do make a note of this. So we call any gas as vapor when, or any substance, I would say, as vapor when it is capable of getting converted into the gaseous state. So a substance, I'll give you the example, it will be much more clear, that is capable of changing into the gaseous state is called vapor. Whereas the substance which exists in the gaseous state naturally, that is known as a gas. That is known as a gas. For example, I'll take two examples, one for vapor and one for the natural gas. So if we talk about the oxygen, it exists in the gaseous form only, so we consider it to be the gas only. But if we talk about carbon dioxide, in the solid state, it is known as dry ice. So it can be converted from the solid to gaseous state. This can be considered as a vapor. Clear, everyone? From solid to gaseous state, carbon dioxide can be converted. That's why we consider carbon dioxide gas as a vapor. Clear, everyone? Any doubts, anyone? Sampath and Akshara, why are your videos turned off again? Tell me if anyone has any doubts still here, then I'm going to move to the third process. Clear, everyone? Okay, children. Then our next process is the conversion of, it is either we call it condensation or we call it liquefaction. So what is this process? It is the process in which a gas is converted into liquid state on cooling. The example for this is The conversion of water vapors to liquid water. Vapor to liquid water. Any doubts, children? That's the third one which we have studied. Then we have the fourth one, which is known as solidification or freezing. So what is this process? It is the process in which a liquid is converted into solid state on cooling. The example for this is the conversion of liquid water into ice. Any doubts still here, children? Then let us come to the fifth definition, which is sublimation. So this is the process in which solid gets converted into gaseous state. Solid gets converted into gaseous state on heating. I forgot to mention one word. Gaseous state directly on heating without converting into liquid state. Without converting into liquid state. So
Ma'am, for this example can be camphor.
yes, very good. So there are only specific substances which undergo sublimation. I am going to tell you all of them so that in case you are able to observe any of them in the exam, because sometimes the question comes why this is a sublime substance, then you have to mention that it is getting converted from solid to gas directly. One example Sampath has already mentioned, camphor. Other example is naphthalene. Naphthalene balls are those balls which we keep in the clothes during the winter season to prevent them from the moth. Okay. Then is dry ice, means solid carbon dioxide. Then next is iodine. Then anthracene. There are one or two more examples. Let me just think. Camphor, naphthalene. Anyone else knows any other example of sublimation?
Ma'am, air fresheners.
Air freshener? No. Air freshener gets converted from liquid to gas. If at all they are in the solid state, then you can consider them. But then those air fresheners also contain these substances only. Fine. Oh yes, now I remember. Ammonium chloride. Very, very important example. I'll show you a video also. Ammonium chloride. Apart from that, naphthalene I have told, dry ice I have told. I think that's all. That's all. Fine. Now let us come to the next one, which is deposition. After sublimation, the next one is deposition. So deposition is just the opposite of sublimation. It is the process in which solid gets converted. Oh, I'm sorry. The gas gets converted over here. Gas gets converted into solid state directly. Now you were asking me, ma'am, what are the examples of deposition? Children, the example of deposition are same as that of sublimation. Exactly same. Now you will say, how, ma'am? I will tell you first and then we will. Carbon dioxide gas over here, iodine, anthracene, and ammonium chloride. Now an important thing to be noticed over here is the diagram of sublimation. I'm going to draw the diagram and I'm going to explain you everything about sublimation. So this is the setup of sublimation which we do in the labs. I will show you a video also. So children, just look at the diagram first of all. This is the cotton plug. This is an inverted funnel. This is the china dish which has the sublime substance. That's the wire gauze. That's the tripod stand. And lastly, this is the burn. So children, whatever example out of these which I have written just now, we take them in the china dish. When we start to heat the particles, they start to get converted into the gaseous state. They start to stick on the surface of on the neck of the funnel. We put a cotton plug so that no vapors just escape out. Then after most of the solid is converted into the gaseous state, or we may say the vapor state, we turn off the flame. As soon as we turn off the flame, we let the setup be as it is. And after some time, because of the atmosphere difference here, the vapors which were collected, they get cooled, and here only the process of deposition occurs. The gaseous vapors, they get cooled down and the deposition occurs here itself. And here what occurs? Here occurs the sublimation when we are applying the heat and the solid is getting converted into the gaseous state. Clear, everybody? Any doubts, anyone, in the deposition or sublimation? Clear? I will show you one video also of this. And then we are going to move further.
अगर आपको चाहिए नीट 2024 में एकदम बेस्ट टेस्ट सीरीज वो भी फ्री में तो स्किप मत.
Welcome to Moo Math and Science. In this video, let's figure out the difference between sublimation and deposition, which are both phase changes. Sublimation is the transition of a substance directly from a solid to a gas without going through the liquid state. Sublimation is an endothermic process. An endothermic reaction is a chemical reaction in which more energy is needed than is released. A constant input of energy, often in the form of heat, is needed to keep an endothermic reaction going. Dry ice is an example of sublimation. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide. You can see in these clips that when the carbon dioxide is exposed to the room temperature, it will go straight from a solid to a gas. Deposition is also a phase change, and it's when a object goes from a gas directly to a solid without passing through the liquid state. It's an exothermic reaction. These windshields with frost on them are examples of deposition. The water vapor in the air or the gas in the air goes straight from a gas to a solid when it comes in contact with the glass windshield. Thanks for watching, and remember, kindness multiplies.
I hope this is all clear to everyone. So in total, children, I'm going to ask from you now. Yukta, first of all, tell me what is the other name of melting?
No, fusion.
Harshit, what is the other name of boiling?
Evaporation.
Or vaporization? Jitendra, what is the conversion of gas to liquid, gas to solid known as? Gas to solid. You don't know? Jitendra, your voice is not coming to me if at all you're speaking. You can write to me on the chat, but where there is the video turned on, not on the with the name where the video is not turned on. Okay, Pranav, tell me.
Deposition.
Very good. Sampath, can you tell me what do we call the process of conversion of gas to liquid?
Ma'am, gas to liquid. Ma'am, so, ma'am, condensation.
Very good. Rohit, what is the other name of condensation?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
What is the other name of condensation?
Ma'am, I don't remember actually.
Tell me the conversion of liquid to solid known as?
Ma'am, is it? Ma'am, is it?
Solid. Rohit, do you know?
Smelting of fusion, right?
Freezing, not melting. Melting means that it melts. Fine. Akshara, do you know what do we call the conversion of the other name of condensation? Do you know? Akshara? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, it is liquefaction.
Yes. So, melting is also known as fusion. Then secondly, we had studied about vaporization is also known as boiling. Children, we have various other things to study related to these processes, but today we will be studying only these processes so that you are aware about these processes, so that in the next class I can tell the other related things, right? Then the third one, which was the condensation, and we also call it as liquefaction. Then we studied the next process as the conversion of liquid to solid, that is known as freezing. And the freezing, and it is also known as solidification. I have to tell a few more things so that these terms are much more clear to you. And then the next one was sublimation. And the last is deposition. Clear, children? I hope the example and everything else is clear. Yes. So your today's homework will remain that you're going to revise all the topics which I have taught you all today. And then in the next class, I'm going to continue telling you about a few more terms and a few more daily life examples so that you are able to relate with these processes even better. Fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Everyone study well, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, children.
Ma'am, thank you.